Hello, I'm Angelyce and welcome back to another video. Today we're just going to be doing my morning skincare routine, getting the face prepped and ready to go. As you can see, you may not be able to see it, but I actually have a little bit of crust like all up in my eyes right here. So we're just going to get it together and get it going. We already got the headband on just to keep my hair out of my face. I really like these little silk satiny hair ties just to keep my hair back. It also keeps it from pulling the hairs out. Excuse me, this morning, I'm not sick, but it is cold outside. And so right now I'm pretty congested just because of like the cold air and then like having my heater on in my room and then turning it off and turning it back on. So just forgive me for that. But I am gonna start by double cleansing my face. I know a lot of people don't recommend double cleansing in the morning. I do it though because sometimes at night, previously the night before, I slug. So I will put like Vaseline or actually more like Aquaphor on my skin, just to keep it soft and supple. I don't do that every day because I have oily skin, but periodically if I'm getting dry during like this time of the year, I will put it just in the areas where I get pretty bad dryness and also just a little bit under my eyes. My skin feels kind of greasy right now, so I want to get that off. This is so embarrassing, but I literally bought this like, I want to say a few months ago, but it literally has been taking me forever to get through it. So just know that like this is something that I use all the time. I also use it to remove my makeup as well. This is actually for dry, like very dry and irritated and like sensitive skin, which is why I enjoy it. I have oily skin and my skin is also quite sensitive, so this is fairly gentle. I emulsify it first in my hands and then I just start in the center of my face. And I think it also just gets your skin ready to be washed. So let's just do this. And into the eyes. If you want to massage your eyes, massage this way. You don't want to tug the skin out. So I always go like this. I push in and around. And then we're just gonna wash it off. When I rinse my face, I use cold water for everything in the morning. No warm water at all. Freezing cold. And just an FYI, I've already brushed my teeth, but if you're like curious about that, always brush your teeth before you wash your face because you just don't want all that toothpaste on your skin. I know it's a common misnomer that toothpaste is supposed to help get rid of pimples. As someone who tried that in my teens, it does not work. I'm just taking a clean towel, very clean, and just patting my mouth dry. I hate water on my mouth. I don't know why. I don't take any excess water off my face because the next step of skincare that we're going to be doing is I'm just going to be using the Rice Water Bright Foaming Cleanser, and it's pretty decent. And of course first I'll wet my hands just so that it emulsifies easier. I didn't mention this because I'm moving kind of fast, as you guys can see, but before you wash your face you always want to wash your hands. You don't want to put dirty hands on a clean face. That defeats the purpose. Just squeeze like this much. Not much. It's a bit much, but not really. My hands just a little bit, and then I emulsify. My skin is still wet, by the way, but I first just get it really nice and smooth. Just so that the product can actually work. Sometimes I feel like when we just throw it on our face and I'm like push it into the skin, it doesn't actually give the product time to work. You want to get whatever ingredients are in there warmed up so that way when they're on your face, they're already working. I get pretty bad hormonal acne. I've had it all my life, and it normally presents itself on my chin. So the place that I scrub the hardest is actually right here. Right now I look like Santa Claus. I look like Santa Claus, but it's okay. Again, just patting my face dry and my neck right here. I leave water here on my skin, like just right there. I don't over dry my face, mainly because I use a lot of hydrating products in the morning, especially during this time of year because it's so cold and dry in the air. And so I really want for there to still be some water on my face because that's what's going to help keep that moisture in. Next, we're going to go in with some skincare. So the first thing that I use is this black sugar toner. It is by Skin Food. I really love this stuff. It is not uber irritating, like a few drops like that, and I smush it. It's really liquidy, so I'm just pushing that into the face and I just pat it in. My skin is so dry right here, so I'm just really pressing that liquid into this area. If you struggle with dry skin, I have oily skin, but if you struggle with dry skin, my mom has really dry skin, really focus on making sure that you're using hydrating products that are not uber irritating on the face. Because when your skin is dry, it's raw and it's compromised. It's a little bit different than oily skin. My skin is oily everywhere else except for here, which I find very weird that like the place that I dry out the most is actually in my T-zone. And I've learned over the years that the last thing that you want to do is put things on your face that are only going to dry it out more or are going to sting, because it just makes it more red and more inflamed and more prone to break out. So the next thing that I'm going to be using is some hyaluronic acid. This isn't active, but this is by The Ordinary. It's their hyaluronic acid 2% plus B5. This doesn't irritate my skin too badly. I prefer to use this, but always use it after you've washed your face, and make sure that there's a lot of moisture in the skin when you use it, because it can break you out if your skin is dry before you put it on. I kind of do like a bit of a patting motion like this, but I also just swipe. When I was younger, I used to be so into putting tons of stuff on my face. Like I had just gotten my first job, and so I had like excess money that I could spend because I was young and didn't have any bills. And I would literally go to Sephora or Ulta and I would buy anything that was skincare related and just throw it and slap it on my face. And I'm definitely like reaping and sowing right now. I feel like my 20s are definitely like the era of reaping the consequences of doing too much to your skin in your youth, but it's also era of also sowing, where the skincare that you do right now is definitely going to aid you in the future, maybe in your late 40s, early 50s. So taking that into consideration, I'm focusing mostly on keeping my skin hydrated and just taking care of myself. I don't do too much. I try to keep everything that I do during the day quite simple, because I find that when you keep it simple, it's easier to keep up with it. So I try to keep the products to a minimum. So this is the last one, and this is just Aloe Vera. It's Aloe Vera 2% and NAG 2% solution. It's for blemish prone skin, but it's also quite moisturizing. Again, with the moisture in the morning, it is so cold. I wish I actually could show you guys how it looks outside. It's literally snow everywhere right now. I put this in my hands, and the last thing that I do is I just press into my nose, press into my forehead. Skin right now is quite soft. There we go. And that's it for the serums. The very last thing that I do, my skin is wet right now, but I just take my gua sha, I run it a little bit under cold water and then dry it off, and I just go right here. And I do this a few times. Hold my chin and I just rake it on up. The skin is soft. And I just pull it down. Make sure that if you're using a gua sha, you're using it on skin that has product on it. It can be your facial oil, it can be literally anything, but just make sure that your skin is moisturized. If you're using this on dry skin, you're going to give yourself more wrinkles because you're pulling dry skin. You want for the gua sha to literally just slide across your face like this. Last but not least, we are taking CeraVe. This is just sunscreen. We set good habits around here. I take about 3 pumps of this. So this is the first one, 2, 3. And I don't really massage it. I just kind of get it on both hands and I go into the skin. I know you're probably like, it's winter time, the sun's not out. Yes, it is. The sun is always out. You want to always put your sunscreen on. I used to have really bad dark spots all over my face, and I still have some just around like this area, just by proxy of having hormonal acne. Those dark spots cleared up over the years because I started wearing sunscreen. Because in the past I would just use products that would lighten the dark spots, but I wouldn't use anything to prevent them from darkening when I was out in the sun, especially during the summertime. And when I started using sunscreen, I noticed that the dark spots that were on my face began to lighten because the products that I had weren't being undermined by me going out into the sun and letting the sun darken up my face even more. Not to mention too, you have to apply sunscreen. Your skin is compromised when you use lightening products or any active ingredient. So you really want to make sure that you're not undoing all of that hard work that you do right here. I let this sit. I'm not a big fan of a lot of sunscreen, but I know you're supposed to layer it on. I'm only taking one more pump because I can't stand too much on my face. And now that this layer is pushed into my skin, going in with one more layer. This is a light layer. I've seen other people do like 3 pumps and then another 3 pumps. But you are supposed to layer it on. Find a sunscreen that you enjoy and just make sure that you put it on. I'm not a big fan of zinc. I think that this one has zinc in it, which is why I may not like it. It does have zinc, which is why I don't use this one as often. But I do use one, period, just in general. But that's basically it. That is my skincare routine. These are just my tips on how I handle my skin in the morning as someone with oily skin with some bad drying gear. If you guys want to see a nighttime skincare routine, then by all means comment that down below. If you like this video, then like the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Woo!